Well, thanks a lot, Chris. It certainly got interesting in that fourth quarter. You don't usually win a game where you give up 40-plus points in the fourth quarter. But, Sarah, I think part of the trouble for the Nets has been these learning experiences in games like this have been on the losing side of things. You'd much rather learn about closing games like this and, tightening up things and getting better when you still come away with a win.
Yeah, and I think there's a variety of things, as you would regardless, to be look at what are the areas that the Nets still continue to need to shore up and areas in which they improved. And there was a lot of positives to take from this game. There was still some of the same issues that have continued to surface in terms of turnovers and the reason why Miami was potentially in that game in the first place. And I think first and foremost, what we did see was a sense of purpose, a energy, and an effort level that at moments, some of it was just from miscues. And you're going to make mistakes. There's going to be areas that, a team like Miami is going to try and take advantage. A big game from Bam Adebayo, and they hit some timely buckets. But I think there was a consistent level of energy from this Nets team and unselfishness, the way they shared the ball offensively, in the shot making that I think we have come to hope for and expect with this group down the stretch.
Kyrie Irving had the statement on Instagram, hey, rock with us, and it's early, don't worry. I'm paraphrasing, but, you all saw it. But, Sarah, we saw him play a really great game tonight, made good decisions all night, called his own number when he had to in the fourth quarter, deferred to Durant when it was the right move in the fourth quarter, was scrappy, a lot of 50-50 plays from Kyrie. But you just know, in those key moments late, he's fearless, and he showed that again tonight.
Clutch buckets. And I think, though, what impressed me most, not only just some of those daggers by Kyrie, but was the effort, the 50-50 plays. He had some offensive rebounds that were critical. He showed a level of engagement on the defensive end that was important in how they were rotating. And I think everyone played a part. You could look at the numbers of the shots that were made, but think about what Joe Harris did throughout the course of this game. Some big-time defense and plays by Jeff Green. There was moments for everyone, and also the fact that there was more balance among the way in which some of these field goal attempts were distributed amongst the roster in the lineup. James Harden was much more of a facilitator. We didn't see him look for his own shot as much, and so I think this is a part of the feel-out process for this group, and it circles back to nice to get a win as you continue to learn and draw from the film.
And the Nets will play this team again on Monday night. You want to take advantage, right, Sarah? I mean, you're trying to get away from 500, run away from 500. You're facing a Miami Heat team that right now is severely understaffed. They're not getting any of those players back on Monday. So learn from tonight, take advantage, and try and build on the victory here.
And there's still players. It's a new group. It's an undermanned group missing some key components. But I think the important thing to remember is there is a level of continuity and consistency with some of these players, and also Eric Spoelstra and the way he pushed the buttons down the stretch, and the opportunity for the Nets to approach how they were playing against a zone defense, the man-to-man, the switching, the different looks, the coverages. Again, this is all a part of the learning process and how you grow, and I think it's going to be really fun for all of us and interesting to see what both these teams come back with 2 days later from now, the adjustments that are made. And for the Nets, can they try and build on the showing and the effort level that they had here tonight?
Nets able to make enough plays, hit enough free throws down the stretch to snap the two-game skid and get the victories. To send it back to you in the
defensively, that's what's going to carry this team.
We call them the big three, but they're three elite players, and they're on the floor at the same time for just the second time. We talked about, Michael Grady talked about it in the pregame show, Frank. People have to relax. This is a process. The communication has to get better. Offense is not the problem with this team. They're number one in the NBA coming in. It's the defensive side of the ball that has to get better.
And I think that's what, everyone focused on that first game in Cleveland, where offensively they were terrific. What was, you mentioned it, 96 points that they had.
Right.
The issue was what they were doing defensively, and they should have won that game. Couple of miscues down the stretch. Next thing you know, they're in overtime, then double overtime, then Colin Sexton has the great game. And even tonight, the 42 points in the fourth quarter, there's a little lapse there at the start of the fourth, 13-0 run by the Miami Heat. So I don't think anybody was worried about them offensively. It's how everything is going to work defensively and when they use a smaller lineup. And again, I think for Kyrie Irving, if I were him, and I get it, you're sitting at home, you're watching TV, you're being criticized by morning shows on TV, morning radio, whatever the case may be. It's still going to come down to how you perform, because all he has to do is go look at his teammate Kevin Durant. When Kevin Durant went to Golden State, he took a lot of criticism, and it affected him, absolutely. But how was he judged in Golden State? He made it to 3 finals, and he was a 2-time finals MVP. Ultimately, it will come down to the results, not whatever things the fans say, the two of us say, whatever everybody in the media says. It's going to be based.
Also had 11 assists and was 3 rebounds shy of a triple-double. Here's the thoughts from the Beard.
Hey, James, we know about your scoring prowess, but with, facilitated and what you were able to do once again tonight. Is there a psychological aspect of, distributing the ball, facilitating and helping the guys around you build confidence, especially with you seeing some stretches with the second unit?
Yeah. I just want to come in and just get a feel for what's going on, Obviously, I could be more aggressive offensively, but we have, more than enough, scorers and guys that can put the ball in the basket. So I just got to pick and choose my spots, which I feel like I'm doing, okay. But facilitating, getting guys shots, getting our bigs, finishes at the rim, and just trying to be solid defensively is, what I'm trying to do.
How do you decide when to go? And is that something that communication with guys on the floor, as coach staff, how do you decide when, all right, I'm...
A little bit of everything, but I think it's just a feel for the game. If, guys got it going early, Joe had it going, so we want to kind of run, get him shots as many as he can until, he can't shoot anymore. Obviously, KD and Kyrie's going to get it going at some point. And then make sure in that second unit, make sure guys are getting shots and, Reggie's getting finishes, Jeff is getting his shots and open looks. So just a little bit of everything. It's a game within a game.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
Hey, James. You mentioned you have a lot of guys that can score. I'm curious, what was your impression of Kyrie's fourth quarter performance? And secondly, was there any tactical changes defensively from the other games, or do you guys just play better individually?
We just played better individually. We had more energy. Defensively, we had a more sense of urgency. Offensively, we had the ball moving around from the beginning of the game, and guys are getting shots. And I think that's just going to take every single game. Even though Miami, had that zone, we were more aggressive. We attacked it, and then we had more.
The hustle, the fight, those little intangibles that it takes to win games. Rate how you guys performed, in your opinion, in that department tonight in the win.
Well, we had a chance to respond, and I feel like we did. We could have had every excuse in the book. Both teams, both played last night, and we didn't allow that to happen. We had 2 losses where we had to learn a lot very quickly, and we just moved on to the next night. And I feel like we gave the effort in spurts, and obviously we want to have more consistency in that, and that'll take time. But I'm happy with the effort tonight, and I'm happy with the way Joe shot the ball. I'm happy the way KD shot the ball. I'm happy the way everybody kind of filled in, and we just figured out a way to win.
It's just the second full game that you guys have been together as a whole group. How much are you enjoying this process of building this continuity as a group as you embark on this journey?
Very excited. I mean, you come in every day and you're surrounded with guys that have a lot of experience in terms of the years in the league. So we've seen quite a lot together and as individuals. So, us as leaders of the group, mainly guys that have 8 years or plus, what I'm saying, and we're not the significant leaders, but we have a strong voice and we have to lead by example. So I think we take that very serious, and we want to leave a lasting impression on these guys. And the way to do that is coming to work every day and doing it at the top of your ability, just having a relentless work ethic. So we just want that to continue on.
Brian Lewis with the New York Post.
The will was there. The will was there to make them feel us. So that was a big improvement from Cleveland, and proud of the way they came out and set the tone and then found a way to win in the end.
Not a lot of, shot attempts from James. You've talked about, him and facilitating for others. How important is that, especially with him seeing time with the second unit, to help give those guys some confidence?
Well, it's invaluable, his, playmaking skills for us. So often he found guys for layups or wide open threes and created and distorted the defense. So, he wasn't himself shooting the ball. I think he's still trying to get himself into shape. That was a tough little week for him, 3 games in 4 nights, so including a double overtime. So I think, hats off to him that he found a way to contribute when his shot wasn't going and his legs weren't there. He still made a lot of plays for his team.
Greg Logan with Newsday.
Hey, Greg, good to hear from
Steve,
you.
how are you?
Yes. I was worried about you up there.
I know. I just wanted to ask a two-part thing. You're up 16 at the end of the third quarter. Does this team sometimes have a tend to relax when you get that kind of cushion? And then how hard is it to get started again the way you did in the fourth period?
Yeah, I don't know if it's relaxing, but that second unit is just growing, trying to learn and figure it out and play together. And, they just struggle a little bit, and that's going to happen sometimes. So, they're capable. We got to develop them. The alternative is to play our starters 40-plus minutes. So fortunately, we had a little bit of a cushion, and although we lost the momentum and the lead thereabouts, we still were able to win the game and keep the minutes in a relatively acceptable zone. So, that's part of our development. That's part of taking the long road here and not necessarily trying every night to wear our guys out and not develop the second unit.
Malika Andrews with ESPN.
Mute, Malika. You're on mute. I don't know if it's Greg Logan.
We'll try Alex Schiffer with The Athletic.
Is rubbing off on you? What's the deal, guys?